Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on area and perimeter. We talked about this a little bit before, so the information we bring up is not going to be brand new information, but we are going to expand upon what we already learned. So I'm going to present. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is go over what we're talking about. So we're going to talk about the area of rectangles and the perimeter of all polygons. And what our goal is, what we're going to try and accomplish, is for everyone to be able to find the area of the rectangle and perimeter of all polygons with 90% accuracy. So you should really have a good grasp over what we're doing today. And if you have any questions throughout the whole lesson, please make sure you ask your questions so that we know that you know what you're doing. And then throughout the lesson, I want you to keep in the back of your mind this question: when is a time in our life when we might need to know how to find the area and or perimeter of something? So when are we going to take this information and use it in the real world? Just keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to do a short review. So this, again, is not new information, but we will expand upon what we already know. So I'm going to read the facts, and then you're going to tell me what category in the Venn diagram it goes under. So whether it goes under area, whether it goes under both, or whether it goes under perimeter. So for the first one, inside a polygon, what is that describing? Is that describing perimeter, area, or both? Well, we know, based off of what we've already learned, the inside of a polygon is the area. And if the inside of the polygon is area, then the outside of the polygon is perimeter. Use in our daily life. Which one of these two do we use in our daily life, or do we use both in our daily life? Well, we know that we use them in our daily life because our essential question is, how do we use them in our daily life? So remember to keep thinking about that. So we use them both. I'm going to put that in the middle. Length times width. Okay, so from what we already know, length times width is how we find a measurement of either area or perimeter. And which one is it? Does anyone remember? It's going to be area. You take the length times the width to find out what the area is inside the polygon. Well, if that's how you find area, then I would assume, and we know, that the fifth one, add each side length, that's going to be perimeter. 6 is measurements. Which one category does this describe? Well, it describes both. I'm going to put it in the middle. Both are measurements. One is of the outside and one's of the inside. The unit is some type of square unit. Now this one is a little bit trickier, but we talked about this already. So if length times width is how you find the area, so the length, the blank unit times blank unit equals unit squared, because you're multiplying this unit by this unit, so it's going to square the unit. I'm going to cross that off and put that over here. Some type of length is that unit. Well, we know the hot one was area, so the other one's got to be perimeter. And you get it by just adding all the sides. So 1 unit plus 1 unit plus 1 unit plus 1 unit doesn't change the unit, it just adds to the units. Nothing's being multiplied. And then lastly, shapes and polygons. Well, we know that this has to do with both of them, so it's going to go in the middle, because shapes and polygons are what you are measuring to find all these things. I'm going to clear all these drawings, and then we're going to move on. So this is going to be the bulk of our lesson. We're going to open up a geoboard manipulative. It's one of those plastic peg boards that you put rubber bands on. However, this is an online version, so it's pretty neat if you ask me. I'm going to put this link in the chat so then you all can follow along. You can click on that and it's going to take you to this screen. So now when you all get to this screen, we're going to focus on one at a time. I know there's 4 shapes up there. We're just going to do one at a time. Number 1 is what we're going to do first, this one. Okay, so we are going to find the area of this rectangle. I'm going to do it and you are going to watch me first. And then when we get to the second one, we'll do it together. So first, we know to find area, it's length times width. So you look at this, and because all of these little squares are here, one square is 1 unit. So you can count these units. It's 1, 2, 3. So the length is 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4. The width is 4. So you're going to put a 4 there. And together, 3 times 4, we know is 12. But what are we missing? There's something that we don't have here, and that's the units. So these squares don't specify whether it's inch or foot or whatever. So we're just going to use the word units as the units. So do I just write units here, or is there something else that I need to put here? We just talked about it in our Venn diagram, right? Because we are doing one side unit times another side unit. It's going to be 12 units squared. Great job with that one. All right, so this one I want you all to make on your geo boards too. So you can clear using this little thing if you have any rubber bands on there, and then this little guy is how you put the rubber bands on. So then I just want you to make this exact shape. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots across. But we'll see that it's different. All right, I'm gonna get started on finding these things. This one we're gonna do area and perimeter. So we can count up 1, 2, 3, 4. If we do the length first, the length is 4 by the width, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 times 5 will give us the area, and we know that this will equal 20. Is it just 20? Do we need something at the end? We need 20 units. And what's the last thing we need? Squared, because you're multiplying. All right, now we're going to do the perimeter. So we know this side's 4 and this side's 4, which gives us 8. And then we're going to add 5 and 5, which is 10. So 8 plus 10 is 15. And then, 18, I'm so sorry. We're going to add our label. We're going to label it units, but this one, if we remember, we do not need to square it because we just added everything. Nothing was squared. And this one, this is a little square. This is a little square, so all the sides are going to be the same, and we know that. So this is 3 by 3, length times width, 3 times 3. We're going to get 9. So the area of this one is 9 units squared. And then for perimeter, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. And it's going to be 12 units because we added and did not multiply. Now this one I threw in as a little trick. Don't be scared. We're just going to find the perimeter, not the area. But we know to find the perimeter, you add all the side lengths. And each one of these squares, the side length is 1 unit. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each side length is 1, and there's a total of 8 sides. So the perimeter is 8 units. Does anybody know or remember what kind of shape this is? And I made it red for a reason. It's a stop sign. It's an octagon, correct. All right, we're gonna bring it back to the PowerPoint, and we're gonna do a quick review. When I ask the question, you are going to private message me in the chat. So when you go to chat, when it says to everyone, you're gonna pick my name and it's gonna private message me so no one else sees it. So the first thing I want you to do is find the area of this one, the area. All right, some chats are coming in. Good job, everybody. And then same shape. Do we know what the perimeter is? Remember, it's length times length times, I'm sorry, not times, length plus length plus length plus length. All right, good job, everybody. Now we're gonna move on to this one. And again, we're gonna find the area, and you're private messaging me these answers, the area. So remember the length times width, length times width. And then when you're done that, you're gonna find the perimeter. So one side plus one side plus one side plus one side. All right. Last part. We're going to talk about everything that we just learned. You guys did an amazing job. So to find the area, we now know and have known that it's length times width. And because you're multiplying, the product that you get after length times width is going to be in square units. So if it's 4 inches times 2 inches, the answer would be 8 inches squared. And then for perimeter, you add each side. So if it's 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, the answer would be 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So it would just be 12 inches. And then lastly, at the very beginning of this lesson, I asked you where would we use area and perimeter in relay? And based off of everything we talked about, some ideas that you could think about is if you're putting a fence in your backyard, you could have the fence line the backyard or go around the perimeter of the backyard, and that's when you would need to know the perimeter. And then say for your grass, you need to buy grass seed, and you need to know the total area that you're spreading the seed. So you can do the one length of your yard times the other length of your yard to find the total area that you would be covering. There's many other things that you can think about, like when you're laying carpet or if you're lining the room with something. There's lots of other things, but you guys did a great job today. I'm going to